everyone, it's Manera, and welcome to another color along. Today's color along is all about gel pens, and the page we're coloring today is probably not a typical gel pen coloring page. Typically, we work with gel pens in smaller pages with smaller illustrations or smaller spaces to color. In this particular page, we've got these big flowers, these big leaves, and this big vase. So we're going to take a look at how we can use gel pens on a page like this, where we can use gel pens in a bigger space to color, bigger area, coloring bigger areas, and creating different techniques as we're coloring, maybe using one or two colors in a particular area. And today I'm using my own line of gel pens, which I have a few different ones. I thought I just had another pack with me. I have, hold on. I had dropped it. Okay, so I have Just Create glitter gel pens. It's a 13 pack. There's 12 pens plus a white gel pen. And then I have a pastel set. Again, it has 12 gel pens in that one. And then I have, oh, there it is. And then I have a 24 pack of gel pens. And they're all of them come with a little swatch chart at the inside the package. These are all available at my Etsy shop, and I'll link it down below for links to buy these. There's actually some discounts if you buy sets together, but I have those available, and I only ship to the US at this time. So while I'm coloring today with gel pens, I'm going to get started here with these glitter ones right here, and I am going to talk to you about 8 different ways to improve your confidence when creating art. Now, a lot of people join coloring communities and they buy coloring books. I'm going to specifically focus on coloring for this particular topic and this particular conversation. I'm going to start out with these leaves, by the way. And I'm going to take this green glitter one, which is called Clover. These are the best pens, by the way. They do not clog. They are juicy. They last a while. I mean, people that buy these pens definitely purchase more than one. And what I'm doing for this particular leaf is I'm actually kind of making it like a painterly effect. So it's a little scratchy. I mean, if you were to color it, look how juicy it is. They dry nice. I just got so tired of gel pens that kept clogging, and I just threw them all away and said, that's it. I'm going to figure out how to source my own line of gel pens, and I did. So they're all available in my Etsy shop. Okay, so when it comes to coloring, you buy a coloring book, you join a coloring community, you join a Facebook coloring group, for example, and people keep saying, post your finished page, post your finished page. And a lot of people do, and I think it's great, and I appreciate it, but there's a lot of people that color, they just never post. Why? It's optional, number one. Number two, maybe they don't feel that their work is good enough. So how do you, and I'm going to address that group, is that how do you know if your work, if your page or your coloring page that you have completed, how do you build up that confidence to be able to say, sure, I'm going to show this to the world? Because I have that feeling too. I just get like, I mean, especially with paintings, I always start to think, I'm not really sure. I'm going to move on to butter. Use that with it. I always start to think, I don't know if I want to show this to somebody. Certainly, and I talked about this in a past color along, where it's easier for me to show my artwork to people in the online community than it is in person. I think I talked about it in a past color along. Maybe I had that conversation with you in my head, and I was just saying, do you do that sometimes? Have a conversation with people just in your head, and then they call you up. It's like a spidey sense, I guess, right? So one of the ways to improve your confidence when you're coloring and to show off your work is to embrace imperfection. Now, I don't know how much more of a more confident voice, no pun intended, I can say that with, but it's important to be able to embrace the imperfection. Not everybody is perfect. There is no perfection. Nothing. There isn't There is no such thing as perfect when it comes to art. There is no right or wrong. Should never ever be a grading system. When we were growing up as kids, I remember kids would get grades in art. And, should there be a grading system? How do you know? Everybody's different. It's all based on, it's subjective. It's all based on somebody's opinion, whether or not you like that. Maybe you like flowers. Maybe you like things that are painted in a soft, colorful colors, or like pinks and baby blues and yellows, and maybe I don't like that. So that's going to all base my opinion. Maybe somebody colored a coloring page that has a shade of green that I just don't like. Maybe I just don't like it. That's not true. I do like the color green, but maybe that's what the problem is. So remind yourself, first of all, that every artist makes a mistake. We're human. We're not gonna escape mistake. There's no escape from mistake, but rather we have to embrace it. So we have to embrace that imperfection. We've got to embrace the mistakes, and the goal is certainly not perfection. It's a process. So art is a process, and in last week's Color Along, I talked about that process and being able to use art as a form of healing. So I think that it's really important to make sure that we embrace that process and consider that each thing you color is a way to refine your skills. I don't consider myself done with what I need to learn when it comes to art at all. I don't consider myself, the cake is not baked, let's put it that way. So I don't consider myself done. I have a lot to learn, and maybe I'm further ahead than others, but there's certainly more people that know way more than I do. So I am constantly embracing some way of learning more about art, about techniques, about just ways to improve. And watching other artists gives me more ways to improve myself. Not that I want to copy them. That's completely not it. I just want to be inspired to create something on my own. So that is why I try to do that. So, but I embrace the imperfection. So it's just a process. So accepting the imperfection is part of the journey. It'll help you approach your work with more confidence. So get rid of the perfection goal. Just toss it out the window. Write it on a piece of paper. If you have to. Burn it. Well, don't burn it if they're having like fire issues or anything. But, just kind of don't let it get to you. There is no reason. There is no right or wrong. And pass that on to kids too. All right, the second one, number 2, practice regularly. Practice makes perfect, right? So we all know, we've heard that from being as a little kid, practice makes perfect, whether it comes to, sports is a perfect example. Practice makes perfect. Make sure that you keep doing it. Consistency is going to build confidence. You're going to see improvement. Maybe you're not going to see improvement right away, but you're going to see improvement from, say, day 1 to you started, on day 30, look back at day 1, and you'll see a huge improvement. Go back and take a look at maybe the first page you've ever colored, and how was it? And did you learn anything? And since then, and I have to pivot a little bit, I'm sorry. And what are those types of things that you learned? So the more you create, the more comfortable you become with the different mediums that you're using and the different techniques. Especially when it comes to colored pencils, I can't stress this enough, that the more you use a colored pencil, the more you use colored pencils to color with, the more you will be able to control the pencil itself, whether it's light pressure, heavy pressure, medium pressure, you want to create a gradation. So it's just practice, and practice getting that pencil in your hand, and the same thing with a paintbrush. So practice makes perfect. Well, let me back up a second. It doesn't make perfect because there is no perfect, right? So you want to just make sure that you are consistent practicing so that you maintain that skill. Think about things that maybe you've done in your life and then you've stopped, and then you've restarted them maybe years later, months later, and maybe you kind of felt like, wow, I'm out of practice. I think I need to. I mean, I'm out of practice with this. I think about that whenever a dog needs something for, retrieved from under the couch and I have to get on the floor and pick it up. I always think to myself, I am out of practice. I don't want to say I'm out of shape. I just say I am out of practice because I am not as spry as I once was, I guess. I don't know. We'll think of it like that. We don't want to say out of shape. Just say out of practice. So that's the second one. So far we've talked about we want to make sure that we embrace the imperfection. We practice regularly. Set time aside for art. Even if it's just a few minutes a day. Even if you're just like, I don't know, you're on the phone and you've got a pen out and you're just kind of coloring an area. I tend to color a more intricate coloring page mindlessly without thinking when I am talking to someone on the phone. So that's a good way to get the tool, the medium in your hand, whether it be a pencil or a gel pen. And you can see on this one that I'm just kind of creating that scratchiness so it has more of a gradation, like a variegated leaf, I guess. I'm going to just kind of start with this section here with these stems. Got another leaf here. And it's not really a scribble, but I'm just kind of doing short little strokes. So small, consistent practice sessions, they'll just build the confidence over time. Little ones, it's like going for a walk every day. You'll eventually be able to walk further, with more ease, that type of thing. Same thing when it comes to coloring. So just to kind of build that confidence. And, take a chance. Post something in a group. Let people see. People are very nice. You think that maybe they're going to insult you, but I don't really think that they are. That's not what we're here for. I think that in the coloring community, it's the nicest group of people because don't forget, these people in the coloring community groups are here to support you. They're here for the same reason. They don't want to be insulted. They're not going to tell you something bad. They're not going to say, boy, that really looks awful, because they wouldn't want to hear that either. So I think it's a perfect arena for you to just jump in, and I just have to pivot a little and add your masterpiece, basically. All right, so the third way you can boost your confidence when creating art, especially when it comes to a coloring page, is to experiment with different techniques or new techniques. So try new tools, try new materials. You haven't tried gel pens yet? Give them a go. You haven't tried water-based crayons? They do have water-based crayons. You haven't tried alcohol markers? Give it a try. You haven't tried coloring with like a shading technique or coloring with dots, with pointillism. It'll help break you out of your comfort zone. All right, let's move on to these pastel ones for the flowers. I'll take them all out. And I had the chance or the pleasure of naming everything. And for this one, I'm going to use, where is that color? Oh, here it is. No hyacinth. No, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use punch for this flower right here. And this is what it looks like. It's kind of neonish, but that's okay. And for this, I'm just going to do the same type of technique as I did, but I'm kind of making it almost like it's little petals. Okay? So it's all little petals like that. I don't know where Grace was. She just kind of like ran across the room. Usually she's sitting next to me, but she said, I'm done here today. And then I'm going to use another color on the in-betweens here. I have to pivot. Hold on a second. Let me mix my pens in together. So experimenting will give you the chance to play, or give you permission to play and discover different types of techniques, and you'll be able to figure out which ones feel least intimidating for you and which ones do you like the most. So it's a good way to say, well, you know, maybe I've always colored with Sharpie markers. I remember when coloring books when I first got involved with coloring books, everybody was coloring with a Sharpie marker or a Bic marker. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't, because first of all, I can't stand the odor. Second of all, and look at that. It got a little clogged, and look at that. It's back in action. I couldn't stand the odor, and I just could not, I don't know. I wanted to do something else besides just fill in the color. I wanted to have more of a different technique happening. So I wasn't interested in it at all. All right, now this one, you know, now that I see it, I kind of like the way it is like that. And I'm going to use this peach color because I think it looks much more yellowish than the yellow. And I'm going to color the center piece. And I'm going to color the two little things that are sitting right here too. Those are called the stamen. And let's use another color here. I'm going to use this this set, which is the 24 pack. And this is a little bit of a different tip. This has more of a needle tip. This is a really cool set. I love this one. This is, I think, my favorite. So we've got that flower back there. I think I'm going to go with purple color. I'm just going to go with purple. Let's make sure it's a good purple color. Apply them over there. That's too light. Let me see about this one. This one is... That's too light also. Oh, I want something darker. Let's go with this glitter one. This is called Violet. Oh, much better. That's what I was looking for. And for this one, I'm going to kind of do a little bit, all these little lines, short strokes, kind of like I did with the leaves, but I'm holding my pen a little differently. And I do need to pivot so I can get it, you know, in the right spot. I want it to have that scratchy look, so I'm not really pressing down as much as I normally would to fill in the area, as much as, like, we don't want it to be like solid. Okay, so the fifth thing is, oh, I'm sorry, we're on number 4. Focus on progress. Do not compare. So it's so easy to feel discouraged when you compare yourself to others. So easy. And I'm guilty. I'm not going to say that I'm not. I am guilty of that myself. But there's no reason for it, because everybody is on their own unique journey. And everybody is on their own path when it comes to their own art. Everybody's art is unique, and it's unique to themselves. So instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself. So compare your current work to past work and see how far you've come. And then just by tracking that progress and seeing how far you've come is a good way to boost your confidence. That part is finished. Now I'm going to move on to the bottom section. In the bottom section, I mean, I kind of feel like it should be a bluish. And I've got this awesome blue glitter pen that I'm going to use. Okay, the fifth thing, set small, achievable goals. There's nothing worse than than trying to do something and not being able to do it, right? So if you underpromise and overdeliver, do it to yourself. That's a really good way for people in customer service, is you underpromise and you overdeliver. Well, do the same thing to yourself. Maybe you might want to say, for example, I'll use walking as an example. I'm going to walk 2 blocks today. Well, guess what? I've walked 3. So you underpromised, but you overdelivered, and you were able to achieve your goal. So same thing happens with art. Break down your artistic ambitions into smaller, manageable goals. Don't think, oh, I'm going to color this and I'm going to, you know, do all this shading and it's going to look fantastic. Do little bits at a time. This way, you'll feel much more confident that you achieved the goal that you set out to achieve. And it will provide a sense of accomplishment, build your confidence up gradually. And some examples would include mastering a specific technique. You could just say, okay, I'm going to master shading, or I'm going to master blending two colors, and don't move on to anything else until you have mastered that. Or every day do something different. So it doesn't make a difference what the goal is, but set small, achievable goals. You don't want to get yourself all stressed out. You don't want to, get to the point where you can't really do what you have set out to do. So I think that that's part of a better way to do it. All right, so now the sixth thing. So far we have embrace imperfection, practice regularly, experiment with new techniques, focus on progress, not comparison, set small, achievable goals. The sixth one, create a comfortable workspace. There's nothing worse than having to, well, this is my opinion, is having, so here you are, you're coloring, and where do you color? Do you color while you're sitting on the couch? I hear so many people say, this is my coloring space, and they take pictures of their coloring spaces, right? And it depends on what you like and what you want it to be. Are you someone that functions better in a clean, organized workspace? Or are you all about, do you work better under chaos and a mess? I always tell my dog Grace that she's messy, that she's a very sloppy dog, and that she should be neater. I don't know if dogs are really allowed to be neater, or can be neater, but she's not very neat. So are you somebody that thrives in that type of environment, or do you want something to be clean and organized to reduce the stress? So it's up to you. Do you want to keep getting up to go get your pencil, or do you want to have everything there? Do you want to have to clean up after yourself every time you are finished, or do you want to be able to walk away? I like to be able to just say, okay, I'm done, I'm walking away, I'll clean that up later. I do like to have an empty space. I do like to keep it clean. If not, it just starts to feel too cluttered. The other thing you can do to embrace and to boost your confidence is to seek positive feedback and support. And the best way to do that with coloring that I know is to get involved with a coloring group. I have a coloring group you could join, Just Color Coloring Group. I'll link it into the comments below. And it's a thriving community. It's stress-free, drama-free, and it's just a fun place to be. There's nobody that is going to do you any harm. It's a great place to share work, share your coloring pages, and then a lot of people will comment on it and give you positive feedback. There's other coloring groups also in the Facebook community, and they all offer the same type of thing. Of course, everything comes with, the chance that somebody might be a little not so nice, but definitely a great place to build confidence. The eighth one and the last one is to reflect and celebrate small wins. Huge important one. Buy yourself a gift. Take time to reflect on what you've colored and the work you've done, and celebrate the small achievements. Like celebrate yourself for accomplishing a whole coloring page, or finishing a coloring page with a new technique. So remind yourself that, look what I did, and look how great this looks. Show it to family and friends. Post it into an online community, and recognize the progress that you've made, no matter how minor it seems. And give yourself an award. Maybe go buy yourself a new set of pens. So that reflection and taking a look back will also reinforce a positive mindset. And then what it'll end up doing is it will allow it to be easier to approach future coloring pages with more confidence. So let's just recap. Embrace imperfection will help you improve your confidence while creating art. Practicing regularly, experimenting with new techniques, focusing on progress, not on comparison. Don't compare yourself to others, only compare yourself to you. Set small, achievable goals. Create a comfortable workspace. Seek positive, and that's comfortable for you too, not comfortable for somebody else. Seek positive feedback and support. good way to do that is with a coloring group. And then reflect and celebrate small wins. So pat yourself on the back. And let me know what you think about your ways that you build confidence in creating, in coloring. And let me know what you think of this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps me out on my YouTube channel. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you at the next color along.